Alright, also look, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Israel Adesanya and his incredible run in the UFC, becoming one of the best middleweight fighters we have ever seen, along with his unique fighting style as well as his grade A elite level skills that made him such a fan favorite. But like every champion, there comes a time when people wonder how much longer can they stay on top. And with new fighters coming up, the focus is shifting from his dominance to what's next for the middleweight division. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share so you can help me reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the summer. I'll deeply appreciate you. And make sure you join the official UFC Discord, link in the description. Alright, so look. After 12 consecutive championship fights, it really feels like we're witnessing the end of an era. The last stylebender, Israel Adesanya era. And to be honest, it's kind of a tough pill to swallow, especially for fans like me who have watched him dominate the middleweight division for so long. His greatness was almost taken for granted at times, but to put it into perspective, there is an entire generation of new UFC fans and even those newer to MMA who don't even know a UFC without Israel Adesanya competing or holding the undisputed middleweight strap. His presence has been synonymous with middleweight supremacy. But of course, not all of his fights were exciting. I mean, he's had a few stinkers like the one with Yoel Romero, Marvin Vettori, or Jared Cannonier. Those bouts didn't quite live up to the hype, and it led to a lot of the MMA community having to criticize him. I mean, let's not forget about his awkward moments at press conferences or in the octagon. His one-liners didn't always land, and his stage presence was kinda sometimes on the border of cringeworthy, but to be fair, no fighter's legacy is without its ups and downs. Still, despite those mishaps, you cannot deny his incredible achievements. Israel Adesanya has carved out a spot as one of the most dominant champions in UFC history, and in my view, I think he's the second greatest middleweight of all time, only behind the Spider Anderson Silva. And to be honest, depending on how you look at it, some might even argue that Adesanya deserves to be called the greatest middleweight of all time. That's how much he has shaped his division and left his mark on the sport. But here's the hard part. Adesanya does not look like the same fighter anymore. His sharp, fluid, and almost otherworldly striking we saw dismantling top-tier opponents isn't the fighter we've seen recently. Gone, but never forgotten, is the last stylebender who turned Robert Whittaker into a human highlight reel or made Paulo Costa look like he was taking his first mixed martial arts class. Instead, Adesanya seems slower, less dynamic, and frankly fatigued. And by the third round of his last fight against Drake du Plessis, he looked exhausted, something that's almost unthinkable for the Izzy we've grown accustomed to watching. And it wasn't just his conditioning either. His decision making on the feet was kinda off. He was making mistakes that a prime Israel Adesanya simply just wouldn't have made. And, he got caught a few times, gave up key positions, and eventually got his back taken by Drake du Plessis. That was all Drake needed in order to capitalize, as he locked in the choke and ended the fight. And to be honest with you, this was a massive win for Drake du Plessis, one that will likely define his career in the long run. He's really coming into his own as the undisputed middleweight champion of the world, and with Israel Adesanya slowing down, the division kinda feels like it's shifting. But of course, we cannot forget about the looming presence of Khamzat Chimaev, who will almost certainly get his shot at the middleweight belt soon, but in the meantime, it feels like Drake du Plessis is in the prime position to take over that middleweight throne. And as a fan, it's incredibly heartbreaking because we've seen this story before. First with legends such as Anderson Silva, then Alexander Volkanovski, and even the notorious Conor McGregor. You watch a fighter you've admired for so long, and then the inevitable decline starts. One minute they're invincible, and then the next they look human, vulnerable, beatable. And once that decline starts, it's incredibly hard to stop, and it's a slippery slope from then on out that only a rare few manage to reverse course. And in Israel Adesanya's case, it feels even more bittersweet because he's been such a fixture in the sport. His style, his confidence, his swagger, they've all defined an era of middleweight MMA. But Father Time waits for no one, and he is undefeated, even against the greatest. And now, as we watch the next generation rise, it's clear that Israel Adesanya's time at the top might be coming to an end. But as fans, all we can do is appreciate the incredible run he's had and brace ourselves for the new chapter that's starting to unfold. But that's all I've got to say for this video. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you guys have to say about the storied career of the great Israel Adesanya, and what do you think's next? But that about wraps up the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.